Hello folks, Abfielder here, back with another Minecraft video, and today it's 10 new awesome seeds for 1.18. Now, if you saw my previous video, you might be wondering why I've done a second one so soon. Well, I gambled on Mojang, not changing anything too much at this point, maybe just slight tweaks that altered the biome slightly, but I was wrong. In 21W41A, Mojang changed the random number generation that is used to generate seeds. It fixed a bug where there weren't as many random seeds as there were before. That broke my video because every single seed in the game has completely and utterly changed. So I've had to go out and search through over 150 new seeds to find you 10 that are worthy of this video. I hope you enjoy it, folks. Let's jump into seed number 1, which is the one that's right in front of you. So with this seed, then you start off right here on this stony shore. There's a ruined portal down there, a village and an outpost and an ocean. But then behind us we have this beautiful bay area next to this jungle. Could do some nice builds there around spawn. And then in the background here we have these cliffs. Now these are the stony cliffs, and they're like the jagged ones, the pointy ones. You can get rounder ones. Rounder ones. And then yeah, let's just have a quick look at this terrain here, and we'll fly over, because over the back of these cliffs we have yet more cliff generation, but it's the snowy peaks and they're the more rounded kind. You can just see them off to the right or straight in front of us. Now I have sped this footage up a little bit. Found the last video maybe just a little slow pace, so yeah, I'm doing a flyover but speeding it up. Got all these wonderful kind of valleys down here that you could build in, all the, lined by the cliffs. They're absolutely amazing. We have the savannah just over there with, I wouldn't call these cliffs, but they, hillier terrain. There is some flatter terrain if we head over sort of this direction to the left down there, if you want a bit of flatter terrain. And of course over towards the village there was more of the flat terrain as well, if that's what you want. Drawback of this seed is the cave generation isn't as good. There is a very small lush cave down below and some big caves, but nothing absolutely amazing. Let's jump down there. So as we can see in front of us, this is about all there is for the lush cave in the spawn area. It's very, very small, and that's about it. You might get some axolotls there though, so that's a little bit of a bonus. We do have some other caves. We have a mine shaft down there with some cave spider spawners. We've got some of the big cave generation, but it's not spectacular. I've seen better in other seeds, and there are better in other seeds to come if caves are your thing. Here we go. Some lava, some water, and it's a big cave. It's a nice cave, but not spectacular. Let's move on to seed number 2. Seed number 2 then, oh no, not more jungle, but bear with me, especially if you like caves as well on this particular seed. So behind us we have the savannah, we've got a village, and there is another one over in the distance. To the right we've got a desert, but it's the Badlands biome that I'm going to show you first, because this Badlands biome is mega. So we have all the red sand, lots of red sand, and it goes up into this new cliff generation, but with the Badlands terrain, which I absolutely love. We're going to skirt around the cliff at the moment. Just have a look at this Grand Canyon type river that we've got going on here. I do love the new rivers. New rivers, one of the most underrated parts of the new terrain generation, in my opinion. Anyway, on the right here we have the mega cliff that I absolutely love. We have the cave crack kind of carver going into it there, and then a bit more river, and it just goes on and on and on into more cliff generation. We have got another jungle on this one. We basically got every hot biome going around here. We've got Badlands, jungle, desert, savannah. I don't think we're missing any of the hot biomes. So if you're after a hot biome seed, this is the one for you for spawn anyway. So over here we're a little bit more of the hill generation, and then over into this desert. Now we're going to fly around a little bit more before we jump down into the caves, because I did mention this has great cave generation, but this terrain is awesome. I hope you like it. This is a great seed. Let's go down into the caves now. Here we go then, and this is an excellent example of a dripstone cave. It's a very big dripstone cave. Imagine it would be a lot darker. I obviously have the night vision effect just because I want to show you the terrain, not the ambience of the cave. I know some people don't like that, the night vision effect. But over here we have a lush cave as well, so you sort of transition from the dripstone caves into the lush caves, and this is one of the biggest lush caves I've seen. I think one of the other seeds I'm going to show you later on in this video also has an amazing lush cave, but this one is awesome to start off with. I just wanted to see if we could get around there. Nope, let's go back this way because it just continues on and on and on. It's an awesome cave. This is an absolutely awesome seed. Like I say, if you want a hot biome seed at spawn and awesome caves, this is the seed for you. Seed number 3 then is a little bit more of a sedate pace. There's not much in the way of cliff generation on this one, but there is cool terrain nonetheless, and I just wanted to show you this one just in case you wanted a little bit of a flatter terrain. So we do have some snowy cliffs right at spawn, but they're not massive. They're more hills than mountains. And then over in the background we have, well, the plains biome. We have a snow icy biome over there, not sure 100% what biome it is. I quite like this area that we're heading towards now though. We have the stony shore that sort of forms this semicircle that we've just flown over, and then there we go. And then as we head over to this direction, we then get some really cool, really steep, stony shoreline that I really like. I mean, you could build a really nice city here, have a nice boat sheltered in that bay area here, and I think that would look absolutely fantastic. That's why I included this particular seed. It's like I say, not massive cliffs, but we have really good hill generation, nice rivers, and lots of kind of nice forest biomes to choose from, rivers and taiga biomes over here. In the way of cliffs again, this one is struggling a little bit. There are some lush caves at spawn. Let's go and check them out. Here we go then. They're not as spectacular as the previous seed. Like I say, this is a more sedate seed, but there are some examples of lush caves right at the spawn area and a few more in this direction as well. Let's move on to seed number 4. Seed number 4 then has some nice terrain generation at spawn. It's not spectacular like some of our other seeds, but it is very nice. It's a little bit plainer for those of you that want it. This seed is more about the caves, which we will get onto in a minute. We have an outpost and we do have some snowy cliff generation over here. Icy cliff, snowy peaks, one of those biomes, and some more over here in a village just to the left there. Some nice plains biomes as well, and some of this stony shoreline for you if that's what you're after. If we head back over towards spawn and go in the opposite direction, we have a lot of this kind of birch forest and normal forest, and then with the elevated terrain either side of the river. I quite like it to the left here where it's very flat with the village and the river winding through it, and then straight up into these elevated kind of areas with the steep banked cliffs. But let's head down into the caves because this has some of the most amazing terrain generation for caves I have seen. These dripstone caves go on and on and on. They're massive. Let's try and get this area just to spawn in. It's a little bit slow at times. Just look at the size of this thing, and it's not just dripstone caves. Let's just fly through some of here, show you a little bit more of this. Look at all those caves. Folks, if you want to find any of these areas in these seeds, then join the Strangecraft Discord, which is where I hang out. Link will be in the description below. Or you can always join my live streams. I stream right here on YouTube. Don't forget to check those out. Look at the size of this dripstone cave. It is massive. And then we've got an aquifer on the left. It generates, it goes into these lush caves, and the lush caves go on and on and on. These are all within 200 blocks of spawn. Look at the size of this cave, and I have sped this footage up just to speed the video up a little bit. It is utterly amazing, this cave. Beautiful cave. Right folks, let's move on to seed number 5. I just want to let you see a little bit more. There we go. Seed number 5 then. You start in a dark oak forest, you even spawn on top of the trees, there's that many trees, and this dark oak forest goes on and on and on. But this has some of the best cliff generation I have seen to spawn. This is my favourite seed for cliff generation, especially at the spawn location. Just look at these peaks, they're the big spiky ones rather than the rounded ones. There's even a hint of the caves below that we'll look at in a moment. Just every direction you go, cliffs, more cliffs, and then the springs that come down these mountains is brilliant. Fly over here, we've got a nice little valley, and then guess what we've got to the right of this valley? You guessed it, more cliffs. Look at this mountain range. It's wow, just wow. Everywhere you go is way. To make this into a, to put your buildings and what have you, make it look amazing, it's going to be a lot of work because you're going to have to take down dark oak forest to do it and what have you. But I reckon just totally and utterly worth it. If we let this spawn in as well, there are more cliffs. There we go, more of the pointy cliffs. Everywhere you go, more pointy mountains. And you've got the caves coming in out of that one. You've got like a nice big cave entrance at the base of the mountain, which looks really good. We've got some nice rivers, a little bit of a meadows biome here. And that's not it. Let's carry on over in this direction, because this is the seed that just keeps on giving. Let's head over in this direction. It's a little bit plainer over here if you don't want to take out all that dark oak forest, and nice rivers as well. And I'm just stalling for time here as it spawns in. Can you see what that is in the distance just over there, right at spawn? Gigantic woodland mansion. I really hope Mojang don't change these seeds, mainly because I don't want to record another one of these in a week's time, but also because this seed is just beautiful. Now, I also hinted that it's not too bad for caves as well. Now, we're back near at spawn, so I'm going to give myself night vision and I'm going to head down below. Here we go. I'll speed this up. And look at, you can just see lush caves in every direction you go. Now, they're not quite as spectacular as the previous seed, but they're pretty good in their own right. To have a seed that has amazing cliff generation and awesome cave generation all at spawn is incredibly rare. In 150 seeds, I'm pretty sure this is the only one I found that is this good for both of these new features. That is seed number 5, folks. Seed number 6 is another awesome seed. Has caves, has cliffs, all close to spawn as well, and it's a little bit different than the last one. We have a different selection of biomes. We have some plains biomes, some forest, and then the cliffs really head into the taiga biomes, and we have some of these stony shores as well. That when you get the right terrain, the stony shores I think look brilliant. Again, another one of those features, perhaps not as amazing as the cliffs, but it adds a lot to Minecraft. And then just a hint of some of the caves below that we're going to look at. We're into seed number 6, folks. If you're enjoying it so far, hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be doing more of these type of videos. I also do mod videos. Top 10 mods is a video worth checking out. Put a lot of effort into the videos. This video I reckon will have taken me around about 8 to 10 hours to record and get all this footage and find all these wonderful seeds for you. So I really appreciate the likes and subscribes. It's amazing. It's like I say, it's a bit different to the last one. You get a lot more of the plainer terrain than you do on the previous one, where it's all forest, dark oak forest in particular, but you get a lot of the cliff generation, as I said, and also it's not too shabby on the caves as well. There's a lovely little island here, this lovely little stony island here that would be awesome if you're planning on like a supervillain type island. I think this would be amazing. I'll turn around and show you the sort of little cave entrance type things you've got down there. That'd be brilliant. Stick a little super villain base on there. Be brilliant. And yeah, let's head down into the caves. So not great on dripstone caves, but this one isn't bad on lush caves. Let's head into this one and check it out, because the cave itself is massive. It actually connects up to the surface, so you get the spring water coming into it from up the top there, which is awesome because it looks like it's eroded into the cave. And then yeah, you just get this wonderful lush generation, the vegetation, the azalea bushes and moss blocks and everything. It just goes on. It's a huge cave and looks brilliant. So that is seed number 6. Seed number 7, and this one starts out a little bit flatter than some of our previous seeds. It does, however, quickly go to the more elevated terrain. We do have an outpost there, and over the back we've got a cave carving out into the above ground kind of terrain, and it does hint that there might be some nice caves on this seed, which is sadly not true. It kind of lacks on caves a little bit, but it has amazing, and I say amazing too much, but it has amazing cliff generation, and we're going to head in that direction now because this is different to any other cliff generation I've seen in any of the other seeds really. This is one long unbroken line of cliffs that kind of splits the terrain in two, which I absolutely love, and kind of makes you think of real world terrain generation, but real world terrain. It just goes on and on. Bearing in mind this footage is at 150% of normal speed, and they're really cool. They just, like I say, they split the terrain in two, and it just looks incredibly natural and like you would see in the real world in certain places. There's a village over there as well if that's what you want. It just keeps going on and on. It's just beautiful terrain would make an absolutely wonderful world if that's what you wanted to go for. So I'm going to head and just check out the caves. Like I said, they're not great on this seed, but I do want to show you them. So here we go. Like I say, not much in the way of lush caves, but we do have some dripstone, but they're not spectacular. Like I say, they're more the noodle or spaghetti type caves rather than the big open ones. We have got a slightly bigger open cave here with a little bit of dripstone in it, but nothing like we've seen in some of those previous seeds. It's all about that line of cliffs for me. Let's move on to the next seed. Seed number 8 then is a little bit more of a sedate seed. Like we've seen before, I just wanted to, calm things down a bit. So we start off in this plains biome. It's a little one with a little bit of a savanna biome over to a warm ocean over there, probably lukewarm ocean actually. We've got a nice little bit of cliff generation there with the springs down, giving you a nice waterfall effect down into the water. It's good when the springs connect up with the water, as it looks like it's kind of creating those water sources, and it happens quite a lot on this new one. So we have a little bit of the cliff generation there. We have another good waterfall going down into the caves. Looks like it's caused the erosion there into the cave and caused the cave itself, and again that works really well. But like I say, a lot plainer, a lot more sedate, but good terrain generation, good variation in the terrains. A lot of flat areas if you want a flat area to build in on this one. Lots of meadows and things like that. Cave generation on this one, let's go and check it out. Here we go then. We have some absolutely massive caves, and they are dripstone caves, which makes them look quite good. Like I said, they're absolutely massive. They're not as spectacular as some of the caves that we've seen on previous seeds, but they're good nonetheless. We do have an awesome cave. I'm going to fly through here, and then we're going to head to this one cave that hooks up with the surface. You have the water coming down that looks like it's kind of helped make the cave, and then you've got a completely and utterly exposed mine shaft here. This cave does look pretty awesome. I'd probably get rid of that mine shaft and you could do a nice build in here and connects up with the surface. Like I say, not as spectacular as some of the other seeds, but good caves nonetheless. Seed number 9 then, and my voice is starting to get strained, I'm sure you can hear it. But yeah, let's fly up into this one. So we have, again, it's a little bit more sedate to begin with, but then over in the distance there we have some cliffs. Now I'm going to fly in the complete opposite direction to begin with, because we have some really cool village generation here. This village has generated on top of this kind of elevated terrain, which is really cool, and then down below as well. And then we have a lot of flat plains biome area that you could build on over there, and then meadows to the left. I've obviously sped this footage up quite a lot. And then we'll head back towards the cliffs, so we head into a taiga biome with some quite nice lakes, and then over to the mountains, which is obviously what I love about the new Minecraft terrain generation. Some more dark oak forest there with the springs that go into the rivers. As I said in the last seed, I like it when the springs join up with water sources like rivers and oceans. It looks really good. More cliffs in the distance there, and we'll just keep flying in this way because we keep finding more and more cliffs. This one looks a little bit almost volcano-like from a distance. And then as we get over here, we're going to flick around, because one of the things I love about this new terrain generation as we get further away is how good cliffs look, particularly from a distance. I know I didn't look at it very long, but here we go. That looks amazing. Let's check out cave generation on this seed. Here we go then, and there's some dripstone caves. We also have some flooded dripstone caves, which I don't think we've seen on any of the other seeds, or I've skipped over it if we have. And I'll have a look down. We've got a mine shaft close to spawn, lots and lots of dripstone caves. We've got a little bit in the way of lush caves as well. If I let that spawn in, here we go, we'll head over to it now. Here we go. It's not as spectacular as some of the seeds where we've seen amazing lush cave generation, but it is pretty cool nonetheless. Chunk loading occasionally goes a bit haywire. This is mainly because I'm in spectator mode, but this is a pretty cool cave, nice and open with some of the dripstone coming down, so not bad overall. Right, let's move on to the last and final seed. Seed number 10 then, and we start off in a slightly flatter area than we do with some of our other seeds, which would be nice for building. But as you sort of fly just a little bit away from spawn, we have a village down there below, which will come in handy for your early game villager trading farms. So if we sort of load this world up a little bit, we'll head over towards the taiga biome in this direction. And then we should get some really cool cliff generation as we head over here. We get the nice rivers with the steep banks again. And here we go, the cliffs are starting to spawn in now on the right hand side. We'll follow the river down just a little bit to the right. So we get some really cool cliff generation with this one, and if we keep flying over here, the world's really slow loading in. We get some really cool stone snowy peaks over in this direction as well. Just a little bit more rounded than some of the other peaks that we've seen. If we head over here, I like the transition, and I'm going to show you this as we fly back around from the other side of these mountains. We get the more stony peaks instead of the snowy sort of icy ones over here, so a nice contrast. And then down into the dark oak forest, we're going to have a lovely waterfall down there when that finishes spawning. What I like about this one is this sort of side here where it transitions from the mountain down into these stony shores, the steep stony cliffs into the ocean. And it happens on a couple of them. I think the transition between those two terrains is beautiful, and we have it again on this one over here, and back into the dark oak forest with the much smaller kind of bird poop microbiome, as they've been affectionately called by fellow Minecrafters. Let's check out the cave generation on seed number 10. So here we go, we have got some lush caves. They're not as spectacular as some of the caves we've seen on some of the earlier seeds in this video, but they're pretty good nonetheless, and they're pretty decent. One of the things I really enjoy doing on these videos is just flying through these caves and just seeing how far you can go, because they go on and on and on. They go out into the middle of nowhere. Let's head back this way because we have some more lush caves. Here we go. So like I say, not as spectacular, not as wide open as some of the other seeds, but they are pretty good anyway. Folks, that is 10 new awesome Minecraft seeds for 21W41A and above. I really hope and pray that Mojang don't change the terrain generation too much from here on in, but if they do, I'll let you know down with a pinned comment. Folks, what did you think? Which was your favourite seed? Let me know in the comments down below. Have you found any awesome seeds? If you want me to do another video, let me know any awesome seeds I should feature in future videos. That would be absolutely amazing. As I said earlier in the video, hit that like button if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button. I do lots of amazing Minecraft content. Folks, I'm Abfielder, that's all I have time for. Goodbye.